And can it last? This is our third experiment, and indeed we found activity in the same brain regions associated with intense romantic love and also deep attachment. The one difference between long-term love and short-term love is that we find new brain regions associated with calm and pain suppression. In short, the obsession of intense early-stage romantic love is replaced by a new calm. So that, having understood something about the brain circuitry of romantic love, I then wanted to find out why you fall in love with one person rather than another. And this started when Match.com, the internet dating site, came to me, as I said, and asked me why it is you fall in love with one person rather than another. And I said, I don't know. Nobody knows. A lot of people maintain that opposites attract. Others maintain that birds of a feather flock together, that similarity is the case. When you look at almost any dating site out there, they will very comfortably say to you, oh yes, it's similarity that attracts, or oh yes, it's complementarity. Nobody knows. What we do know is that we, in terms of similarity, we do tend to fall in love with somebody from the same ethnic background, same socioeconomic background, same religious values, same similar goals, same general level of intelligence, same general level of education, and same general level of good looks. We know that. And in fact, every single dating site on the internet matches by these things. There's no way to measure intelligence. There are dating sites out there that say that they do measure by intelligence. There's no way that can be true. We also tend to fall in love with somebody who gives us what we need, with whom we can have the right lifestyle, play the right roles. Your childhood plays a role in who you fall in love with, but nobody knows how or why. The Freudians have theories. There's a million theories on how your childhood plays a role. They probably all are right under some circumstances, and certainly timing plays a role. And I think that we evolve as we grow up, emerge, we develop a love map, an unconscious list of what we're looking for in a partner. But you can walk into a room where everybody is from your background, your level of intelligence, your general level of good looks, and you don't fall in love with all of them. So I came to think maybe biology also plays a role. There's two parts of personality. There's your character, which is everything you grew up to believe and understand, and there's your temperament, which is all of those characteristics that you have that emerge, at least in part, from your biology. So I read a great deal of genetics, in fact, probably all of the genetic literature that was involved with this. I also take a look at all the drugs people take, and from accumulating a good deal of data about the brain and about brain circuitry, chemistry, and physiology, I've come to believe that we have four very broad biological types of human beings, scales of human beings, associated with different brain chemical systems. I call them the explorer, the builder, the director, and the negotiator. I'm rather sorry I call them that, actually. Had I read my Plato and my Aristotle, my Carl Jung and others, I would have used different terms for these things. Plato called the explorer type the artisan. He called the builder type the guardian, is a better term. Others have called the director type the rational, and the negotiator the idealist. Whatever you call them, I think they're associated with four very broad brain systems, brain pathways. And there's a lot of other chemicals involved in each one of these pathways, but most of the data is on these four brain systems. So just to go through them, I will also say that we're all a combination of all of them. This happens to be me. I'm largely dopamine and estrogen. I would imagine most of the people in this room have a tremendous amount of dopamine in them, and also a good deal of testosterone, the director brain system, but I'll tell you why. This is the explorer, those who express dopamine. They're novelty seeking, they're risk taking, they can't tolerate boredom. I would guess that most of the people in the room, as I said, have a good deal of the dopamine system. Highly energetic, restless, spontaneous, impulsive, very optimistic compared to other types, highly sexual. As a matter of fact, people will take drugs like Wellbutrin in order to become more sexual, to drive up the dopamine system. They're the most curious of the four types. They're the most creative of the four types. Matter of fact, if you take L-DOPA, if Parkinson's patients take L-DOPA, very often they will become a good deal more creative. They're autonomous, they're flexible, open-minded, and unconventional. They also have a lot of bad characteristics. Nobody gets out alive. There's always some bad parts to other side of the moon of the personality. I think that, and so what I did is I created a questionnaire, I forgot to tell you this, to measure to what degree you express these four brain systems. And that questionnaire on internationalmatch.com has now, and americanchemistry.com, has now been taken by 7 million people. My studies are on 40,000 of them. I think Sarkozy is the explorer type. When I take a look at the words he uses, the way he moves, what he says, his various activities, these are comments of his directly out of The Economist. He admires, quote, openness, entrepreneurial verve, dynamism. He's impulsive, risk-taking, hyperactive, and very definitely interested in diplomacy, not war. His secondary type, I think, is the director. He's direct, he's blunt, he's quick-tempered. I'll go into them later. I think Obama is also a explorer. His whole focus was on change, on new, on energy, on active, with all that McCain tried to do to adopt exactly the same strategy of change. He couldn't do it with the sort of the genetic vitality that Obama had. Obama has other characteristics that it displays his biology. He moves with a style. And I've been watching people around here moving. People who express a lot of dopamine are comfortable in their skin. They move with a certain amount of grace and style. He also has a lot of expression in his face. People who are high dopamine have a good deal of expression in his face. And you can actually see with some of those conductors, some of them had a great deal more facial expression, and these were probably the high dopamine explorer type.